Ladies and gentlemen, success is not an accident. It is the result of a clear mind, disciplined effort, and an unshakable belief in one's purpose. In a world filled with distractions and noise, the difference between those who merely exist and those who rise to greatness lies in their ability to focus, to concentrate on the few essential elements that unlock the doors to success. There are only three pillars upon which every lasting achievement is built. If you master these, no force on earth can keep you from the life you were meant to live. Let me reveal them to you, one principle at a time, with 11 powerful lessons wrapped around them. The foundation of all achievement begins with clarity. You cannot achieve what you do not fully understand or define. Just as a captain would never set sail without a precise destination, you must not drift through life without a clear, specific purpose. Success demands more than wishful thinking. It requires an exact vision of what you want to accomplish. When your goal is sharply defined, your mind begins to work in harmony with it, pulling resources, people, and opportunities into your orbit. Many people fail not because they lack talent or ambition, but because their goals are too vague. Saying, "I want to be successful," means nothing if you cannot describe what success looks like for you. Is it financial freedom? Is it creating a business? Is it impacting a million lives? Until you paint a clear picture in your mind, you're wandering in the dark, hoping to stumble into greatness. That kind of aimless approach invites confusion, distraction, and ultimately failure. Once you define your purpose, everything changes. Your decision-making sharpens. You start eliminating the unnecessary. The people you spend time with, the books you read, the habits you develop, all begin to align with your ultimate destination. You no longer say yes to everything because you know exactly where you're going. Every action is weighed against your goal. Does this move me closer or pull me further away? Clarity also fuels courage. When you are absolutely certain of your aim, you are far less likely to be shaken by fear, criticism, or temporary defeat. People may not understand your path, but that doesn't matter because you do. A clear vision burns away hesitation. It keeps you moving when the path gets steep and the world offers easy exits. It becomes your compass, your fuel, your fire. So the first and greatest requirement for success is to know exactly what you want. Take the time to write it down. See it, feel it, repeat it to yourself until it becomes embedded in your subconscious. Once your mind accepts it as a non-negotiable truth, the universe will begin to respond. A clear goal backed by strong desire becomes unstoppable. Without it, you're just a wanderer with hope. With it, you're a creator of destiny. The moment you choose a goal, you must make a decision that goes far beyond mere interest or casual desire. You must commit with such intensity that retreat is no longer on the table. Most people never reach their potential because they leave too many escape routes open. They entertain backup plans, exit strategies, and reasons to quit. But greatness demands full commitment. Just like the ancient warriors who burned their ships upon reaching enemy shores, you too must cut off every path that leads away from your dream. Doubt is the silent assassin of success. It creeps in when commitment is weak and circumstances get hard. The mind begins to entertain questions like, what if I fail? Or maybe I'm not good enough. These whispers grow louder when your heart is not fully invested. But when you remove the option of quitting, your focus sharpens, your resilience strengthens, and your mind adapts to finding solutions instead of excuses. You stop negotiating with your fears and start operating with certainty. The people who achieve the extraordinary are not necessarily the most talented or lucky. They are simply the most committed. They resolve that no matter how hard the road gets, no matter how long it takes, they will not turn back. This kind of inner conviction sets off a chain reaction of creativity, discipline, and resourcefulness. The mind, when backed into a corner with no exit, finds a way forward. Obstacles become puzzles to solve rather than reasons to surrender. Commitment doesn't mean you will never feel fear or discouragement. It means you will act anyway. When the goal is fixed and non-negotiable, your emotions begin to fall in line. You stop relying on motivation, which comes and goes, and instead lean on decision and purpose, which remain steady. You begin to carry yourself differently, think differently, and walk with the quiet certainty that you will either succeed or grow, but you will never retreat. To succeed at the highest level, you must eliminate the option of failure as a permanent condition. Mistakes may happen, plans may change, and setbacks will surely come, but none of them will end your journey unless you allow them to. The moment you commit fully, without escape routes or hesitation, is the moment life begins to shift in your favor. The universe respects the mind that refuses to turn back. Desire is the invisible force that turns thought into motion. Without it, no plan, no strategy, no amount of intelligence can bring about lasting success. It is the inner fire that pushes you to keep going when logic says stop and when circumstances look impossible. Those who achieve great things in life do so not merely because they have a goal, but because they have a deep emotional hunger to bring that goal into reality. The intensity of your desire determines the intensity of your action. Many people say they want success, but their desire is soft. It's more of a wish than a driving force. They want to be wealthy, but not enough to sacrifice comfort. They want to be respected, but not enough to face rejection. Real desire is different. It is relentless. It follows you into your thoughts, colors your conversations, and becomes part of your identity. It does not disappear when things get hard. In fact, it grows stronger. True desire gives you the energy to wake up early, work late, and persist through all setbacks. This kind of desire doesn't happen by accident. It must be built. It starts with a clear goal, but it must be fed daily with vision, repetition, and emotional connection. You must remind yourself constantly why this goal matters. You must see it in your mind, speak it out loud, and feel it in your heart. Every time you visualize the end result and connect emotionally to the outcome, your desire intensifies. It becomes more than a hope. It becomes a mission. When desire reaches the level of obsession, something powerful happens. Your mind begins to work overtime even when you're not consciously thinking about the goal. Ideas come to you unexpectedly. Opportunities appear where before there were none. People and resources begin to align with your path. What once felt like a dream begins to feel inevitable because your desire has activated something greater than logic. It has activated faith, focus, and force. If you want to achieve greatness, build a desire so strong that it becomes impossible to ignore. Let it pull you forward when your strength is gone. Let it lift your energy when motivation fades. When desire becomes a living fire inside you, no setback can defeat you and no challenge can stop you. You don't just wish for success. You chase it with every breath. In the age of endless distractions, focus has become more valuable than gold. Every device, every platform, every voice competes for your attention, trying to pull you away from your purpose. But success belongs to those who can discipline their mind, silence the noise, and concentrate fully on the task that moves them closer to their goal. When your energy is scattered in many directions, you dilute your potential. When it is directed toward one clear aim, you become unstoppable. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they allow their attention to be divided. They start one thing, then jump to another. They chase every shiny opportunity without ever committing deeply to one path. This creates a cycle of unfinished work, shallow results, and chronic frustration. The mind, like a magnifying glass, only creates fire when focused. You must learn to hold your focus on what matters most, even when the world tries to pull you off course. Every day offers countless choices, but only a few of those choices will move you forward. That is why you must measure every action against your vision. Ask yourself constantly, does this decision serve my highest goal? If not, let it go. This kind of discipline may seem rigid, but it is the path to freedom. When you stop wasting energy on the unnecessary, you free up power to do the extraordinary. Focus is not just about productivity. It's about protecting your dream. The most successful individuals have learned to say no more than they say yes. They guard their time like a sacred treasure. They eliminate distractions not because they are antisocial or rigid, but because they understand the cost of divided focus. They train themselves to lock in on one mission, one task, one outcome until it is complete. This level of intensity separates those who achieve from those who only talk about achievement. If you want to rise above the noise, you must become a master of focus. Shut out what doesn't serve you. Create space in your life for deep, meaningful work. Let your mind be single-minded, your actions purposeful, and your vision unshakable. The world will continue to throw distractions in your path, but when you learn to guard your focus like a warrior defends a fortress, nothing can keep you from your goal. Focus is not a talent. It is a choice you make every single day. Discipline is the invisible bridge between dreams and results. It's easy to get excited when you're inspired, but success does not respond to how you feel. It responds to what you do consistently. Discipline is the muscle that pushes you to act when the excitement wears off, when the road gets dull, and when comfort tries to seduce you back into mediocrity. It is not glamorous, and it rarely gets applause, but it is the quiet force behind every great accomplishment. Most people wait for motivation to strike before they act. They move when they're in the mood, when things are convenient, or when conditions are perfect. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. Discipline, on the other hand, is solid. It shows up regardless of how you feel. It's the decision to rise early, to stick to your routine, to follow through on your commitments, even when no one is watching and especially when you don't feel like it. Habit. Habits are built in the small, unseen moments. It's in choosing to study instead of scroll, to train instead of sleep in, to write instead of talk. These small, disciplined acts don't look impressive in the moment, but they are laying the foundation of your future brick by brick. Over time, they compound, they create momentum, and eventually they become automatic. Your habits become your character, and your character becomes your destiny. Discipline is also about self-respect. When you keep promises to yourself, you build confidence and trust in your own ability to follow through. You stop needing others to push you because you've learned to push yourself. You begin to carry yourself differently with strength and certainty because you know that you are in control of your actions, not your emotions, not your environment, not your excuses. If you want to build a life that stands the test of time, then master the art of discipline. Let your actions be governed not by how you feel in the moment, but by the future you are building. Do what needs to be done, whether you're in the mood or not. Discipline is not a punishment. It's the highest form of self-love. It's the key that turns your ambition into achievement and your potential into power. Fear is the silent thief of dreams. It disguises itself as caution, as logic, as protection, but underneath, it is simply doubt in disguise. It whispers in quiet moments that you are not worthy, not ready, not enough. It makes the mountain look higher than it really is and the goal feel farther than it truly is. Fear paints worst-case scenarios in your mind until you start believing them as reality. Left unchecked, fear paralyzes action and convinces even the most gifted individuals to settle for less than they deserve. But the truth is, fear is only powerful when you believe it. It cannot stop you unless you give it permission. Every person who has achieved greatness felt fear, but they acted anyway. They stepped forward in faith, not because they were fearless, but because they were committed. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move in spite of it. It is the belief that your vision is more powerful than your doubt, that your potential is greater than your past, and that the path will appear once you begin walking it. Faith is built through repetition. Every time you take action when fear says stop, you weaken fear's grip and strengthen your belief. Each step forward becomes evidence that you are capable, that the world will not collapse, and that progress is possible. Over time, your faith becomes louder than your fear. You begin to trust the process, even when you can't see the full picture. You lean into the unknown, not because it's safe of your life, but because growth never lies in your comfort zone. There is also a deeper kind of faith, a trust in something greater than yourself. When you align with purpose, When you work not only for your own gain, but to serve others or fulfill a deeper calling, something powerful awakens. You feel guided, supported, and fueled by a force beyond your own willpower. That unseen power, whether you call it intuition, the universe, or divine energy, responds when you act with belief. It does not eliminate challenges, but it equips you to rise above them. In the end, the battle is not between success and failure, but between faith and fear. One builds, the other destroys. One expands your life, the other shrinks it. The choice is always yours. Will you listen to the voice that says you can't, or the one that quietly reminds you that you already are? Feed your faith daily. Act boldly, even when your voice shakes. Because the moment you believe in the unseen more than the known, the impossible begins to bow in your favor. You are never walking your path alone. Whether you notice it or not, the people around you are either lifting you higher or pulling you down. Human beings are highly influenced by their environment, and your closest associations quietly shape your thoughts, beliefs, and habits. If you spend your time with those who lack ambition, who complain, doubt, or settle, it's only a matter of time before you start adopting their mindset. No matter how driven you are, negative energy is contagious when you're constantly surrounded by it. But when you surround yourself with individuals who believe in growth, who talk about ideas instead of people, who push themselves to become more, your entire world shifts. These are the ones who challenge your comfort zone, not out of criticism, but because see more in you than you may see in yourself. Their standards become your standards. Their energy becomes fuel for your fire. You find yourself thinking bigger, acting bolder, and staying more consistent for the remainder of your life simply because the people beside you refuse to settle for small thinking. It is far better to be alone in the right mindset than surrounded by people who limit your vision. One true believer. Just one person who sees your dream and says, "I believe in you," can be the difference between giving up and pushing forward. That belief creates a ripple effect. It reminds you that you're not crazy for thinking bigger for the remainder of life, that your dream is possible, and that your effort is not in vain. Encouragement in the right moment can relight the flame when everything feels dark. That's why you must be intentional about your circle. Seek mentors, friends, and partner flex who revalues you aspire to live. Be around those who are not just successful by appearance, but who operate with discipline, purpose, and integrity. Spend time with people who don't just talk about dreams, but take action toward them. And just as importantly, be that kind of person for others. Inspire, uplift, and challenge those in your circle to grow with you. Your environment is your mirror. It either reflects the greatness within you or distorts it with doubt. Protect it fiercely. You cannot control where you come from, but you can control who you grow with. Choose wisely, because in the long run, your relationships won't just influence your mood. They will shape your destiny. You are never walking your path alone. Whether you notice it or not, the people around you are either lifting you higher or pulling you down. Human beings are highly influenced by their environment, and your closest associations quietly shape your thoughts, beliefs, and habits. If you spend your time with those who lack ambition, who complain, doubt, or settle, it's only a matter of time before you start adopting their mindset. No matter how driven you are, negative energy is contagious when you're constantly surrounded by it. But when you surround yourself with individuals who believe in growth, who talk about ideas instead of people, who push themselves to become more, your entire world shifts. These are the ones who challenge your comfort zone, not out of criticism, because they see more in you than you may see in yourself. Their standards become your standards. Their energy becomes fuel for your fire. You find yourself thinking bigger, acting bolder, and staying more consistent. Simply remainder of life, simply because the people beside you refuse to settle for small thinking. The good news is your mind can be trained, just like a muscle. It becomes stronger and more resilient when you exercise it with intentional positive input. When you feed it with empowering books, uplifting voices, bold ideas, and stories of those who've overcome obstacles, your own belief system expands. You begin to see what's possible instead of what's lacking. You start focusing on solutions instead of problems. You move through life with greater clarity, confidence, and calm because your internal world supports your external goals. A strong mind does more than just inspire you. It protects you. It shields you from self-doubt, from the influence of people who don't believe in you, and from the mental fatigue that sets in when things get hard. A disciplined mind becomes a place of refuge in times of chaos. When the world tells you to give up, a trained mind replies, keep going. It holds firm to your vision when circumstances try to shake it. That inner strength is not given. It's built one thought at a time through consistent mental nourishment. You must make the choice daily to guard your thoughts. Filter what you read, what you watch, who you listen to, and most importantly, what you tell yourself. Don't feed your fears. Feed your faith. Don't dwell on defeat. Dwell on growth. You have the power to rewire your thinking, and when you do, the world around you will begin to mirror the strength, focus, and belief you've cultivated within. Change your thoughts, and you'll change your life from the inside out. Obstacles are not there to break you. They are there to build you. Every challenge that appears in your path is a hidden invitation for growth. It may not seem like it at first, especially when the pain is fresh or the setback feels overwhelming, but within every difficulty lies an opportunity. The most successful people in life are not those who had the smoothest journey, but those who learned to extract power from their problems. They trained themselves to look beyond the pain and see the purpose within it. Adversity introduces you to parts of yourself you didn't know existed. It stretches you, tests you, and forces you to rise to new levels of strength and creativity. A setback may initially feel like failure, but when approached with the right mindset, it becomes a teacher. Every time you face something difficult and overcome it, you gain more than just relief. You gain resilience. You build the muscle of mental toughness, the kind that will serve you for the rest of your life. What once scared you now strengthens you, because you've proven to yourself that you can endure and grow. It's not the obstacle itself that defines your future, but how you respond to it. Do you retreat, complain, or freeze in fear? Or do you ask yourself, what is this here to teach me? The moment you choose to learn rather than resist, the struggle becomes meaningful. Maybe the lesson is patience, maybe it's humility, or maybe it's a direction toward a better path. Life has a way of rerouting you through what appears to be a setback, only to reveal a stronger, smarter version of yourself on the other side. When you embrace the idea that challenges carry hidden benefits, you stop fearing them. You no longer see adversity as the enemy, but as a guide. Even when something doesn't go as planned, you begin looking for the silver lining. You ask better questions, make better decisions, and bounce back faster because you've trained your mind to focus on the lesson rather than the loss. And the more you do this, the more powerful you become. Not because life gets easier, but because you get better at handling it. The truth is, every adversity you face adds to your wisdom. Each trial leaves behind a seed, an insight, a strength, a lesson that you can plant and grow into future success. Over time, these seeds multiply, and what once seemed like pain transforms into purpose. This is how champions are made, not by avoiding struggle, but by using every hardship as fuel. So don't curse the obstacle. Study it, learn from it, and let it make you unstoppable. Persistence is the invisible thread that ties all great achievements together. It is the decision to continue when there is no applause, no visible progress, and no external encouragement. Many people start strong, full of enthusiasm and motivation, but as soon as obstacles appear or the results take longer than expected, they begin to doubt and withdraw. It is not the lack of ability that defeats them. It is the lack of endurance. Success doesn't always greet you at the beginning of the road. More often, it waits at the far end, hidden just beyond the point where most people give up. Every worthwhile dream requires more time and effort than we usually expect. There will be detours, delays, and moments of deep frustration. But these moments are not signs that you should quit. They are tests to see how badly you want what you claim to desire. The world is full of people who gave up too early, people who were just one step away from a breakthrough, one try away from victory, 1 hour away from clarity. The difference between those who win and those who don't is often just this one kept going when the other did not. Persistence builds character. It forces you to develop patience, discipline, and grit. Every time you push through discouragement, you build a deeper strength within yourself. You begin to trust that even if progress is slow, it is still happening. The universe responds to those who refuse to quit. Doors start to open, resources begin to appear, and opportunities align, not always when you want them to, but always when you're truly ready. That readiness is forged in the fire of persistence. There will be days when it feels like nothing is working, when the results don't match your efforts, and quitting would be the easier path. But the truth is, those are the most important days. That is when you prove to yourself and to the world that you are not average. Average gives up. Extraordinary pushes forward. Even if your steps are small, even if your pace is slow, keep moving. The act of continuing puts you ahead of most. The moment you choose not to quit, you win a victory within yourself, and those victories add up. In the end, the dream belongs to those who never stopped chasing it. It belongs to those who made a decision once and refused to make it again. They didn't keep asking themselves if they should continue. They decided that they would, and then they followed through day after day, no matter how long it took. Make that kind of decision. Refuse to let temporary discouragement rob you of a permanent reward. Stay the course no matter what, because when persistence becomes your way of life, success becomes a matter of time.